I've been doing YouTube Shorts for quite some time now, and they make up the majority of my channel's views. Whilst providing a bite-sized chunk of film trivia for my audience seems to be working a great deal, I do want to talk more extensively about some of the trivia I discuss. So today I am trying something new. I'm going to take a look at one of my shorts and talk in greater detail about the piece of trivia. Hopefully this is something all of you will be interested in, and if you enjoy this video, let me know which other one of my shorts you would like to see me expand on in a longer form video. This is the first of my film trivia expanded. I hope you enjoy. Nicolas Cage revealed that he did shoot scenes in the cancelled Superman Lives costume on the set of The Flash. However, what ended up in the movie was not what he shot. His scene was simply him looking through a portal, seeing the multiverse. However, the filmmakers created a CGI version of Cage fighting a giant spider, something that was reportedly set to happen in Tim Burton's movie Superman Lives. The Flash certainly didn't perform well at the box office for the standards of a comic book movie. There had been a certain decline in the quality of the genre in recent years. The Flash seemed to be riding the hype of introducing multiple versions of a character, which was seemingly copied from Marvel Studios' Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. The Flash did give us multiple versions of Batman, with Ben Affleck reprising his role from the Zack Snyder DC movies, as well as Michael Keaton returning as the Caped Crusader from the two Tim Burton movies, Batman from 1989 and Batman Returns from 1992. But the film also included multiple cameos across the multiverse, which included Christopher Reeve as Superman, as well as another well-known actor portraying the Man of Steel, Nicolas Cage. If you aren't a trivia nerd or follow comic book movies, you may not know that Nicolas Cage had initially been set to play Superman in the cancelled movie Superman Lives, which was set to be directed by Tim Burton. So this Nicolas Cage cameo was referencing the Unmade movie and is not just some random cameo by the movie star. It had been revealed before the film was released that Nicolas Cage had gone to set to shoot the scene in the unused Superman Lives costume, which was going to be a fun cameo referencing the Unmade movie. But when the movie released, the version of Superman we saw was clearly a computer-generated image that used the actor's likeness. After seeing the cameo, we were led to believe that this was clearly not Nicolas Cage, only his likeness, and we had been lied to about the actor's involvement. Later, Nicolas Cage confirmed his involvement in the movie and stated he did go on to shoot a scene, but was confused about the final product. Cage stated what we saw in the final movie was not him, and it was not what he shot with the film's director. Cage has blasted the appearance of the CGI version of him, stating, "I did not do that, and that it doesn't look like it had a heartbeat." That being said, Cage was happy to see his version of Superman make it to the big screen, as well as a version using the suit that was designed for Superman Lives. Cage stated the following, "But I was happy to look at it. I still wanted to see Colleen Atwood's suit, which I maintain is a beautiful suit, and 50% of that character was my design. I wanted Superman to have the long, kind of black samurai hair and a vulnerable feeling, almost no blinking, a stillness in his eyes." Other than the fact that we get the Nicolas Cage Superman cameo, you may wonder why he is fighting a giant spider. Well, this is a reference to something producer John Peters wanted in the script. John Peters was producing the Superman Lives movie, and at one point he had hired Kevin Smith, known for Clerks and Mallrats at the time, to write the screenplay. Kevin Smith said Peters gave him several points he wanted to see in the story. One of these was for Superman to fight a giant spider in the third act. This was added into the script, but as we know, the film never got made. However, Peters did incorporate the giant spider into another movie he was producing, Wild Wild West from 1999. Smith has confirmed this fact in many of the talks he has given. So this scene featuring Superman fighting a giant spider is a callback to the scene Kevin Smith wrote in his version of the script. Smith did state that it was an absolute delight to see the scene in the flesh. I can imagine seeing a scene you wrote 25 years prior, featuring in a big budget superhero movie, would certainly be a pleasant experience, even if the CGI looks bad. More details about the unmade Superman Lives movie that would have featured Nicolas Cage as the Man of Steel can be found in the 2015 documentary The Death of Superman Lives: What Happened. It is baffling that they used the CGI version of Nicolas Cage's likeness in the movie, especially when the actor showed up to shoot a scene. It is also important to remember that the bad CGI isn't due to the lack of talent of the artists who worked on the film. It is well known that visual effects artists are overworked and underpaid for all the work they do on these big budget movies. Big studios make visual effects companies bid for the work and make last minute changes. Clearly this cameo was a fun idea to include in the movie, but it was certainly a last minute addition. And studios don't really care if the CGI is bad in these movies. One could argue that this is a contribution to the decline of comic book movies in recent years. Let's face it, a lot of the computer-generated effects in big-budget superhero movies are just not up to scratch. As The Flash underperformed, as it was already shot before the reshuffle with DC movies at Warner Brothers, the care to make the movie worthwhile clearly wasn't there. And with the movie's poor box office, we may not see any more multiverse stories in the upcoming slate of DC movies from James Gunn. Whilst the cameo from Nicolas Cage was certainly a fun addition to the movie, the fact that the CGI was rushed and they didn't make use of having Nicolas Cage on set for a day is certainly disappointing. Maybe Cage will reprise the role again down the line, and if that is the case, hopefully they create his scenes in person and not just use his likeness to create this uncanny valley version of the actor. It does open a moral question about whether we can use actors' likeness in movies without their consent. Clearly, Nicolas Cage agreed to shoot a scene for this movie, and what ended up on the screen was nothing to do with the work he did on the film. I hope you've enjoyed this video looking at Nicolas Cage's Superman cameo from The Flash. As I said at the start of the video, if there are any other pieces of film trivia from any film I have covered across my channel that you would like me to talk about in greater detail, please let me know and I will aim to develop it into a longer form video. If you have enjoyed this video or any of my content, I ask you to subscribe and click the bell icon to receive notifications for all of my videos, as well as giving this video a like. It all helps my channel grow. That's it for now. Thanks for tuning in.